What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Life's a Garden. If you haven't yet, please follow and subscribe to all platforms. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and when you're there, comment, like, do all this stuff to help grow this algorithm and grow this garden. Helps us out a lot, and we truly appreciate it. Now we're back with another solo episode, and I know we've had a lot of solo episodes in a row. I promise you, I'm planning on getting more guest episodes in the future. But it's been a little difficult. We've been doing our own stuff. It's been a busy time of the year. And at the same time, the ultimate thing that's been causing me to not have guests on the episode is really just fuck it. Like I said, we've been busy, been doing shows, been just enjoying life and doing my own thing. And it's pretty out of the ordinary for me to do this many solo episodes without a guest episode in between. But I said, fuck it, I'm going to do what I want. So that brings us to today's positive motivational message, which is, fuck it. Am I a little drunk in the middle of this episode? Yeah. But you know what? Fuck it. It's St. Patrick's Day weekend. I'm having a good time. We're enjoying ourselves. It was a little difficult to get a guest on the show. So I said, fuck it. And yeah, I went out and had a couple of beverages. It's going to make for a fun episode. Is this the first pretty much me being loaded episode? Probably. So, we're having fun. Is YouTube gonna flag me for saying the F word too many times right here in the beginning? Fuck it! Because guess what? I don't get paid for this shit anyway. So, flag me all you want. It don't matter. Because I guarantee you, my listeners are going to click on this episode because I'm going to put fuck it in the title. How do you like them apples? I'll get more views on this episode regardless of me saying the F word as many times as I have. Did I burn my lip earlier eating a slice of pizza? Yeah, I did. But guess what? Fuck it. Because I enjoyed that slice of pizza. It was good. Regardless of the fact that it did, in fact, burn my lip. Am I going to eat McDonald's regardless of the fact that I ate a slice of pizza earlier? Yeah, I sure as hell am. McChicken, in fact. You know why? Fuck it. And, even regardless of the fact that I'm a big fat piece of shit that hasn't been working out for 3 months, I'm drunk, and I want a McChicken sandwich in my mouth. I want a McChicken sandwich to satiate my appetite. Regardless of the fact that I ate a slice of pizza that burned my lip earlier, and regardless of the fact that I'm a big fat piece of shit that doesn't need McDonald's. Did I mention that I was drunk? I said Taco Bell, and I'm eating McDonald's. Yeah, I think that says everything that you need to know about my state of mind as of right now. I'm eating McDonald's. Regardless of the fact that I'm a big fat piece of shit that hasn't worked out for a while. But you know what I say to that? I say, fuck it! God damn, I love a McChicken sandwich. Now, I will say this. Fuck it is a state of mind. The idea of fuck it is a state of mind. There is a bad form of fuck it, right? You can't say fuck it to, actually, you know what? Rather than me giving you examples of the bad forms of fuck it, I'm going to let you decide what a bad form of fuck it is. Because ultimately, the best form of fuck it is the one that you decide is the best form. If you're sitting here and you think the best way to handle any situation, if you think a positive way, if you're going to take a situation and say, fuck it, to a situation that you think is going to benefit you, then it's the right decision, brother. That's just it. It's the right decision. So you know what? Rather than me sit here and try and tell you what a good decision of fuck it is or a bad decision is, you make the decision. I'm not going to sit here and tell you what's right or wrong, because guess what? Fuck it. And it's episode 194? If it's not, hey, you know what? If it's not 194, fuck it. It's episode 190 something of Life's a Garden. Let's get into it. Give me some of that McChicken, baby. Not only did we get a McChicken sandwich, we got us a milkshake up in this motherfucker. Non-alcoholic milkshake, so I'm coming down. Don't worry about me. We're here. We're home. I might have had a few to drink. It's St. Patrick's Day weekend. We're having fun here on the Life's a Garden podcast, so don't you worry about me. We're having fun, and you know what? Here's the ultimate thing. We are currently living in the age of fuck it. Because you know what? Let's just do whatever we want. That's the ultimate goal in life. That's the ultimate everything. Do what you want. Be who you want. And say, fuck it! From the rooftops. Say fuck it to whatever. You don't like your job? Fuck it. You want to do whatever you want to do? Fuck it. Do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? We are living in a season, in an age of fuck it. That's where we're at right now, you know? And you know what? Last week, remember I told you we were talking about Dragon Ball Z. I was talking about Akira Toriyama and how he had passed away and all my favorite Dragon Ball Z memories. And it really got, it got the juices flowing. It got me thinking about Dragon Ball Z, and I started watching Dragon Ball Z. So I am on a full Dragon Ball Z kick right now. And here's the thing. I figured out. So on Hulu, Dragon Ball Z Kai they have Dragon Ball, the original series, the first series, Dragon Ball. They have it all in its entirety. And then they have Dragon Ball Z Kai. Now, if you're not familiar with Dragon Ball Z, which I am, you need to go and watch Dragon Ball Z Kai. Because what Dragon Ball Z Kai did was cut out all the bullshit. All the little side quests and all the little, the things that don't really matter, which are fun. If you're a full Dragon Ball fan, if you're a full Dragon Ball Z fan, they are fun to indulge in and watch all the little extra shit that gets thrown in there. But if you want to get through the series in a reasonable manner, watch Dragon Ball Z Kai. Because I was looking at the thumbnails. It's only 100 episodes till you get to the Cell Saga. That's nothing. 100 episodes feels like a lot. That's nothing. I think it's 100 episodes to get to the Frieza Saga if you're watching the original. So, if you want to indulge in some Dragon Ball Z, go watch Dragon Ball Z Kai, because it cuts out all the bullshit. It gives you the basic stuff that you need to know if you want to watch some Dragon Ball Z. So, actually, I take back what I said last week. If you're not a Dragon Ball Z fan, I highly recommend you go watch Dragon Ball Z Kai, because it's going to give you everything you need to see. With all the original voices, you might not get the best music, because I'll tell you what, the American music That's the shit. The Japanese music, while not terrible, isn't great. It's not the best. It doesn't give the good vibes that the American version does. But you get the best dub vocal version between Sean Shamel and Sean Sabat. Is that his name? Sean? No. Sorry. Sean Shamel and Sabat. What's his first name? I can't think of it. God damn it. Anyway, Sabat. You get all the good versions of the dub voices. Everything is great. I'm telling you right now. You need to go listen. You need to go watch Dragon Ball Z Kai. Remember what I said last week? I said, if you're not a fan, don't indulge. Don't go watch all the episodes because there really are a lot of episodes. But if you watch Dragon Ball Z Kai, you will get everything you need to get in a very condensed version. And you're going to get the good shit. So, go watch that shit. Now, in addition to the Dragon Ball Z thing, let me go ahead and take another bite of my McChicken because it's so damn good. You remember when McChickens were $1? And excuse me for talking with my mouth full, but God damn it, I love a McChicken. Remember when everything was on $1 menu? For real. I remember being a kid and going to McDonald's with $5 and eating like a king. You get a couple McChickens, a small fry, a drink, and you still got another $1 to do whatever you want with. Get an apple pie. An old school apple pie or a sundae. You get some dessert with 2 McChickens, a small fry, and a drink, and you get a sundae for $5? Shit. I could feed me and my brother. I could feed me and my sister. 2 of us could eat good for $5. We get 2 McChickens, 2 medium fries, split a drink. Bro, you're sitting pretty. How crazy is that you could get all that for $1? $5 could feed 2 people. $10 could feed a family at McDonald's. This was everywhere. This wasn't just McDonald's. Everywhere had a dollar menu. And now, here we are. Only 15 years later? 15 years later? A McChicken's $2.75? This is ridiculous. Like, what? I can only imagine. Remember when things were 5 cents and a nickel and a dime? Can you imagine the people that lived during those times? What they think of today? Are we that old? Is that how far we've come? Is like things on $1 menu at fucking McDonald's are $2.75 and we're complaining about it? Can you imagine the people who lived just in the 60s and the 70s, or I don't know. When was things a nickel? The 20s, the 30s? Probably. Either way, inflation sucks. And I'm half drunk, and I'm drinking a milkshake. You know what? Here's the thing. Fuck it. We're having a good time. That's what this is all about, man. That's what life's all about, is having a good time. You don't think I had fun this weekend? It's St. Patrick's Day weekend. Not only that, it's super St. Patrick's Day weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We basically celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Now, real quick, before I move on, because I wanted to mention this. What the fuck is up with this McDonald's thing? Right? There's like this McDonald's all of a sudden is in the anime game. Here I am talking about Dragon Ball Z, and McDonald's decides they're gonna dip their toe in the anime game with this McDonald's thing. I don't understand it at all. Not only do I not understand it, I don't like it. It's like they're jumping the bandwagon. McDonald's is trying to get the weebs out here to eat their food. They were already eating the food. They're already locked up in their mom's basement. They're already sitting there hours on end watching Fairy Tail and watching fucking Attack on Titan and Dragon Ball Z and all the good shit, you know? They're already doing it. What are they eating? You think they're eating fucking anything but McDonald's? They're eating McDonald's 3 times out of the week. Why do you got to jump on the bandwagon and trying to get these weebs on board? They were already on board. They're the ones keeping you afloat. Did you not realize? Anyway, St. Patrick's Day weekend. We're having a good time. It's been a good time. So Friday night, I go out. I'm going out for my buddy's birthday party. I did not intend on getting as drunk as I did. But, nonetheless, I did. I went out. I got pretty smashed. I ran into Coach O. Y'all remember Coach O? He was on the podcast a little over a year ago from this time. The Billings Outlaws and the Salina Liberty, who Coach O is the head coach of, are now a part of the AFL, the Arena Football League, which just announced they will be airing multiple games on the NFL Network. Crazy deal. And if you don't know, if you haven't heard yet, which you probably haven't, because I don't think I've mentioned it yet, Andrew Miller, who is the lead guitar player for Cutthroat, will be performing the national anthem for the opening game for the Billings Outlaws, which is a preseason game. I believe that is April 18th. He will be performing the national anthem, and June 8th, which is a late season game. Our guitar player, Andrew Miller, stud, will be performing the national anthem for the Billings Outlaws. I can't remember if I mentioned it here on the podcast. If I haven't yet, this is your first time hearing about it, be at those games to see our boy perform the national anthem. We tried to get halftime show. I put our name out there for the halftime show, and they already had something lined up. So they offered me actually the halftime the national anthem performance because they wanted singers, and I'm like, I'm not singing no national anthem. I can't sing for shit. I'm a decent singer. I ain't singing no national anthem. I'm not that guy. I'll go out there and perform a Fergie in front of y'all. But our boy Andrew Miller, guitar player, has done it many a times and performed it to perfection. So I threw his name out there. We put a video together and sent it to them, and they said it was so damn good and they enjoyed it so damn much that they wanted it to be in not 1, but 2 games. So it's happening. But nonetheless, and I'm so stoked about that. I'm stoked that we get to do that. I'm going to take another bite of this McChicken. I happen to mention that I might be a little drunk. But you know what? Fuck it! Fuck it. That's what I'm saying. The best way you can live your life is by saying fuck it. It's the best way to... Like, you're going to have the most fun if you just say fuck it, bro. If you want to... Yeah, you could be... I have a hard time with this because I want to live my life in a disciplined manner. I want to be more disciplined. I want to work out and not indulge myself in alcohol and food and all the pleasures in life, right? I really don't. Like, I want to be more disciplined. I want to have more discipline in my life and to be more structured and less reckless, less, living my life by the day to day. But I just say, fuck it. And you know what? Somehow I end up being happy. I think you can be happy no matter what you do. If you just say, fuck it. If you're like, what? If you take two options, right? Let's just put it this way. You take option A and option B. And option A is the thing you should do, but you don't want to do. And option B is the thing you want to do, but you shouldn't do. And you say, fuck it, I'm going to do the thing I want to do. I think ultimately your soul is going to be happier. You're going to be happier with the thing you want to do than the thing that you should do. Yeah, you might live not as long. Yeah, you might have some consequences along the way. But you're going to enjoy yourself in the moment. And ultimately, isn't that what matters? I'd rather live a short life and a happy life than a long life and a mediocre life. Does that make sense? I'd rather live a short life and enjoy every short moment of it than a long, semi-enjoyable life, like halfway discouraged, halfway, just living it to live longer. What sounds better to you? Ask yourself that. Would you rather live longer and discouraged and, unhappy in some ways? Or would you rather live a shorter life and every moment of it is full of happiness? We're going to die no matter what. Let's just be happy the whole way. Now, I will admit this. I'm sure there's going to be a time that I'll look back on this particular message and say this was not the right message to send. But, considering my state of mind, I'm going to sit here right now and say, fuck it. So, who knows? Maybe I'll look back at this particular moment and say, that guy was right. That guy had the right idea. Who knows? Maybe I'll look back at my drunken self and say, that version was right. Most likely I'll look back and say I was a fool, and I'll be embarrassed by this episode. I'll be embarrassed by my stupidity and by my lack of judgment. Who knows? But you know what? It's good to get it out there. It's good to have all the versions of yourself out there. And that's why I really, truly decided to still do this podcast, regardless of my state of mind. I thought, you know what? You might look back at this and think something of it. Whether it was good, whether it was bad. It's positive either way, right? If your drunken self is giving good advice, then shit, what is your sober self thinking? If your drunken self is giving better advice than your sober self, you got a problem, right? On the other hand, if your drunken self is giving stupid advice, then you could sit here and say, well, clearly that was a poor state of mind, and I should follow my sober self. So either way, it's a positive mindset. And you should just give every version of yourself out there to the world. And that's what I'm doing. Now, I just ripped some serious ass, and it stinks so fucking bad. Like, I am about to throw up. Normally people like their own flavor. When you fart, you like your own flavor. Right now, this is how bad my diet has been lately. Like, I've been eating like shit. I told you I ate a slice of pizza earlier and topped it off with some McDonald's. Not good. Including the amount of alcohol I've drank. Like, my diet has been absolute garbage. So, my farts are a pile of trash covered in baby diarrhea that has been soaked in rain for 3 days and left out in the sun. That is what my farts smell like right now. It is not good. I want to throw up, but we continue on because, say it with me now, fuck it. You got it right. You got it right, folks. Take a sip of that milkshake, and let's have some fun. Let's move on. Now, St. Patrick's Day weekend. We had some fun on St. Patrick's Day weekend. It pretty much went exactly as I planned. I went out for a little bit. Went to the street party. Had some fun. Look at this. I got this Jameson shirt for free. Free. This is a beautiful shirt. Green Jameson shirt. Repeat Offenders was playing at the street party. They did awesome. Kudos to them. If you don't know Repeat Offenders, go check them out. And then went to my friend Mac. I shouldn't just say my friend because you know Mac. He's been on the show many times. Also had a podcast with him called the Good Old Boys Podcast, which is the sign that sits here in the background. If you've ever wondered what this Good Old Boys sign that sits in the background of the Life's a Garden podcast is, that is the sign from my old podcast called Good Old Boys that I did with my friend Mac. Well, Mac's daughter, who is like a niece to me, I consider myself her uncle. She had her second birthday, which I went out there to have her celebrate her birthday party. Perfect timing to come down from my drinking on the weekend, because I went pretty hard. I did not plan on it. I didn't plan to go too hard because we were playing a show that night, and I wanted to keep it even. I wanted to be in check. Hard to do when you're an Irishman. I refrain from calling myself an Irishman. I am not an Irishman. I am an Irish American. Hard to do when you're of Irish descendancy on St. Patrick's Day. Going down to Hooligans, the Irish pub here in Billings. Yeah, I ended up drinking quite a bit. I ended up having a few beverages, which put me in a certain state of mind, similar to the one that I am today, as of the recording of this. And, I got a little tuned up. What can I say? But it worked out because I went to the birthday party, child's birthday party. I'm not expecting there to be any booze out there. So we go out there. I'm chilling. Gives me time to relax and sober up. Come home. Take a little nap. And then, Saturday night, we go out and we play our show. We play the show. I gotta tell you, man. I gotta give huge props to Do Fish Make Noise. Those kids have come a long way. We've played quite a few shows with those guys. They are young. They, they've played a lot of shows. Those guys play a lot of shows. And it shows. It shows in the way they perform. They have figured out the performance aspect. They put on a damn good show. They have good stage presence. They have good ability with the crowd. They have good interactions with the crowd. And they just play good music. So I'm going to give my flowers to Do Fish Make Noise. They set the tone. Now, it's tough when you're playing a local show and the band before you brings their own crowd. It's hard to match that energy. But they earned it. They earned the crowd that they brought. They did in fact bring their own crowd, and the crowd ate them up and they engaged. They engaged with the band. It was a synchronized energy between the crowd and the band. When you're following that, it's very hard to follow. And it's not like we could have, we couldn't have necessarily done any better than what we did. I thought we performed very well. When you're set up for that, I like that, to be honest. I like when a band before us puts on a hell of a show, because it gives us the motivation to do better or attempt to do better. And I'm not gonna sit here and try and put blame on us not having as active of a show because they brought their own crowd. That's on us for not bringing more of our own crowd. And I thought we brought a pretty decent crowd. But kudos to them for bringing a crowd and engaging the crowd. They did a hell of a job. I take nothing away from them. So I just want to give out my kudos to Do Fish Make Noise. Those kids do it. Those kids do a hell of a job. I remember being that young, being in a band, and we didn't do half of what those guys do. So huge kudos to them. And it really did set us up to try and put on a performance. And I felt like we did. Now, did we have the crowd that they did? Not necessarily. But that's fine. You're dealing with a late night show on St. Patrick's Day at Bullwhackers. Surprisingly enough, there was only one fight. There was one fight on the night, which I would have expected to be many, it being St. Patrick's Day weekend. You're at a metal show, things happen. I thought it was going to be more of a shit show. It wasn't. It was actually pretty decent. It was a good crowd. We enjoyed ourselves. I hope other people enjoyed themselves. Huge thank you to everybody that came out. Huge thank you to Bullwhackers for putting the show on. And so, not as bad of a night as I expected. I just expected, with there being St. Patrick's Day, people are drinking, you're at a metal show, things tend to happen. Things tend to go haywire the later it gets. But it really didn't. It was pretty decent. It was a decent night. So I'm very thankful for that. And I'm thankful for everybody that came out. Another shout out I want to give up to Rip Sickly. They were the openers. They just played at the pub station just like we did. So huge shout out to Rip Sickly. They played great. I will always give the flowers to any band that will go up and perform. So just want to give a shout out to those guys and to Bullwhackers for letting us play. We are very thankful to that. So until next time, until the next show, I will announce it as it comes. But very excited and excited to start working on some new material. What else do we got? What do I got on the docket here? I wrote down a bunch of shit. I talked about the show. I talked about St. Patrick's Day. What does that say? I can barely read. These aren't reading glasses, folks. Oh. With St. Patrick's Day, with all the downtown festivities and all that, there is always the annual St. Patrick's Day parade. Now here in Billings, at least in Billings, we always do a St. Patrick's Day parade and a Christmas parade, which is called, of course, the holiday parade, to not step on the toes of anybody else. And then in Laurel, they do the 4th of July parade. And it got me to think, parades actually suck. Parades are really shitty. Now, if you're in New York City and you're going to the Thanksgiving Day parade or the Christmas parade, and you got the big balloons or the big theme floats, it's kind of cool. That I get. But here in Billings, you want to fight the traffic. You want to park 8 blocks away, walk in the freezing cold, whether it's March or December. You're going to walk in the freezing cold and stand in it for hours to see a fire truck and a police car and a trailer that pulls the Girl Scouts of America on it. It's so fucking boring. They don't even throw candy out. I remember when I was a kid, the best part of going to a parade was getting the candy. Was the people on the unicycles coming around and handing out candy, the people on the stilts, or the people on the floats throwing candy out, and you'd run out and grab it. But the city of Billings decided it was too dangerous for kids to go out and grab candy in the middle of the street. It's not in the middle of the street, by the way. It's on the edge of the street, where parents have their eye on the kid. The kid's not running into traffic, right? Maybe there was one incident where a kid got hit by somebody. But whether it was just somebody walking by or somebody on a 4-wheeler, some kid got hit, and now all of a sudden they can't do candy no more. They can't even have somebody walking by handing candy out. COVID did away with that shit. And you know what I say to that? Fuck it! That's what I say. Either way, even if they were throwing candy out, parades are boring. They're so boring. If you're somebody that likes to go to a parade and waste 2 hours of your time, what the fuck are you doing? I get it. There's kids involved, and the kids enjoy it. Okay, but if you're a legit adult that likes to go to parades, what the fuck are you doing? You're an adult and you go to parades? Are you fucking out of your mind? Are you I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say to you. Like that's unbelievable if that's your life. But do what you gotta do, I guess. Parades suck. Parades are boring, and that's the ultimate. That's the end of the statement. That's the end of it. Even honest, you know what? Even parades that have balloons and themed floats, you're gonna go stand outside and watch that shit? I'll watch that shit on TV and be bored out of my mind. Turn a game on. What are we doing? We're gonna watch a bunch of balloons fly by. We're gonna watch a bunch of people in marching band outfits play the trombone and play the cymbals. What the fuck are we doing? Parade? Get out of here with that shit. Parades are bullshit. I haven't taken a bite of this McChicken in a second. Oh. You know what else is nice about a McChicken? Even when it's cold, not that bad. I don't mind a cold McChicken. A cold burger now, I won't handle that shit. But a cold McChicken, I will do a cold McChicken. Pornhub. Pornhub has claimed yet another state. Not just any state. One of the biggest states. Pornhub has effectively ixnayed the state of Texas. Which you gotta imagine is one of their biggest clienteles, right? It's a top 4. It's the 3rd most populated state in the United States, right? California, New York, and then Texas, right? I know Florida's up there, but it's a top 4. Texas is the top 4 populated state in the United States. So for Pornhub to sit here and ban Texas is you'd imagine that's a pretty big hit to Pornhub. But they're willing to do it. I imagine A, because they're going to make a huge statement by doing so, and B, because everybody can use a VPN and still access it wherever they are. And you got to imagine Pornhub has some stake in some of these VPN sites, right? They probably have some ownership into these VPN sites, or they wouldn't be as willing to do that. Because that's a big use of their clientele. One of their biggest porn stars is named after the damn state. Alexis, Texas? You ever heard of Alexis, Texas? If you have not, why don't you go ahead and Google that name real quick. Because you'll know her very quick. Alexis, Texas. One of the all-time legends of the porn game. And they banned the state that she's named after. I mean, they're not playing games here. They're ready to play ball. They're ready to throw down with anybody who's going to ban that shit. And we already had this conversation. I still stand by my statement that I think pornography should be regulated. And I'm not going to go all into it like I did before, because if you want to hear my whole statement, you can go back and listen to the old episode. But I stand by my statement in saying that pornography should be regulated. I don't think the government should necessarily be the regulation state, because the government doesn't do a great job of telling us what to do. And I don't like the government telling me what to do. Nonetheless, I do think pornography is a addictive substance that should be regulated in a certain manner. I think you should be of a certain age to consume such a thing. But goddamn, banning the state of Texas, that's going to make some noise. That'll make some noise. I wrote a bunch of shit down here, so we're just gonna knock them down as we go. The Chick-Fil-A girl, TikTok's latest viral sensation. Now, whenever this shit pops off, whenever there's a viral thing that pops off, I always assume that I'm the first to see it and that I'm like just an originator of finding these gems. And then I come to realize, oh, everybody knows this person, right? The Chick-fil-A girl, if you're not familiar, it's this one right here. Hilarious. I love it. There's nothing not funny about this. She's just living her best life. It's literally just like obviously a funny thing that she's doing with her friend in this video. And it's so great to see what just hits. What goes viral. What the funny thing is of the month. And this is it. This is the latest funny thing that I have been hooked on since the Corn Kid. Y'all remember the Corn Kid? That shit was hilarious. This shit is hilarious. And she is getting some huge notoriety. Now, we all know she's going to be yesterday's news in a month or so. She's getting her fame now. It's all hitting off. She's getting all these requests. She's getting recognized. And that's cool. But in a month or so, she'll be old news. That's how these trends go. Unless she continues to make crazy content like that. This feels like a 1 in a million shot like thing that just happened. It just so happened to happen. But nonetheless, hilarious. Now the thing with her is, it's very interesting because I don't know, like I think she's pretty young. I cannot tell if she is hot or not. I don't know, like I can't tell. Now, there's also that aspect of, is she too young to be hot? Is she too young to even think about being hot? Like, for me to think about her being attractive. And then there's this other part of me that's like, is she objectively attractive? Or is she just, like, decent looking? Is she attractive or is she decent looking? She's definitely not ugly, that's for sure. But there is that side of me that's like, I don't know how to feel about this girl. She's funny. I know she's funny. She has that thing about her that's quirky and funny. So that's cool. But is she attractive? I don't know. That's the thing. If she truly is attractive to the masses, then she's got a career for life. Plain and simple. God damn it. I don't even know where to go with this episode now. Like, we've talked so much about all this shit. I mean, I have the Oscars written down. What the fuck am I supposed to say about that? The Oscars suck. The Oscars have always sucked. Who gives a fuck? Yeah, Oppenheimer cleaned up. That's cool. By the way, Cillian Murphy, who won Best Actor, Irishman. Congrats to Cillian Murphy. Robert Downey Jr. won his first Oscar. Probably should have won a few by now, but it's his first Oscar win. The Oscars are so fucking rigged. You literally have to buy your way into being nominated. All this shit is rigged. I don't give a fuck about the Oscars. So, I'm not even going to give them the time of day. Yeah, the Oscars happened. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Who gives a fuck? Fuck it. That's what I got to say about that. How about that? What do you think of that? Fuck the Oscars. So, it's on my list, but I'm not even going to talk about it because there's nothing to talk about with it. So, I'll move on and talk about some NFL stuff, because NFL free agency has been going on, and there's been some pretty crazy moves. Pretty much 90% of running backs in the NFL are on different teams. Saquon Barkley goes to the Eagles. That's huge. That's a division rival, by the way. Austin Eckler is a Commander. Derrick Henry is a Raven. Dude, the Ravens, I'm telling you right now, the Ravens are going to be a problem next year. You know who else is going to be a problem? The Texans. The Houston Texans have made some huge moves in the free agency market. They haven't even gotten to the draft yet. I think you need to look out for the Houston Texans. Obviously, the Ravens are looking to make a splash. And the AFC West has done nothing to stop the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to be the divisional winners again. Because they still have Travis Kelce, they still have Patrick Mahomes, and they just signed Chris Jones to the biggest contract for a defender in the NFL ever. How do they have all this money is my question. They just signed Marquise Brown. That's an upgrade from wide receiver than they had last year. So they're already making improvements where they didn't have last year. And have been paying guys unreasonable money, but somehow still able to pay them. I don't get it. Something doesn't add up to me. But yeah, the Broncos are obviously in full rebuild mode. The Chargers traded away Keenan Allen and cut Mike Williams, and Austin Eckler's gone. The Chargers are making nothing good of moves. The Chargers are in rebuild mode, essentially. The Raiders, what have they done? They signed Gardner Minshew, and they have their other guy that they had last year. Raiders have nothing for a quarterback. They've pretty much done nothing. Like, all three teams are basically in rebuild mode, essentially securing the Chiefs for a repeat to go to the Super Bowl. Some other big free agency news. Let's see what else. Kirk Cousins got signed to the Falcons for a crazy amount of money, which at the age of 35 or 36 is unbelievable. The guy's going to make more money than any other player in history based on what he's been able to get in guaranteed money and in just contract money in general. The Vikings are in full rebuild mode. Now that Cousins is gone, they got rid of quite a few of their guys. Alexander Madison, a lot of defenders are gone. Their main defender being, what's his name? The leading sack guy last year. He went to the Texans. The Texans got him. Why can't I think of his name? It's escaping me. Anyway, but he's with the Texans now. The Texans are going to be good next year. Yeah. A lot of changes. Baker Mayfield got that bag for the Buccaneers. Congrats to him. I think the only teams that might actually stand a threat to the Chiefs next year in the AFC are the Ravens, the Texans, and the Bengals if Joe Burrow is healthy. Now you might throw the Browns in there a little bit. That's always been a shit show, so you can't really ever guarantee it. And the Steelers just traded for Justin Fields. How crazy is that? The Steelers signed Russell Wilson and then got Justin Fields. Now here's my prediction. I will say it right here, right now. I think Justin Fields will play more snaps than Russell Wilson this next year. I bet Russ plays 3 to 4 games before they bench him and try Justin Fields. And I think Justin Fields will thrive in that offense. There's a reason they signed Russ to only a 1-year contract. I think Justin Fields will be the future of that team. That's my prediction right here, right now. The Broncos are just basically making small moves. They traded away Jerry Jeudy. Josie Jewell's gone. We're in full rebuild. And they're saying there's still a possibility that we trade up in the top 5 by trading away Patrick Surtain, which I don't want them to do. But if we're in full rebuild mode, that might be the case. I don't want them to do that. It would break my heart, especially if we get a quarterback that's ultimately going to end up being a bust. I'd rather we just keep our spot and go from there. It's all just fucked. That's basically what the Broncos have said, is fuck it. You know, this is what I'm saying when there's a difference between good and bad fuck it. The Broncos made a bad fuck it. They said fuck it, let's sign Russell Wilson. And then they said fuck it, let's get rid of Russell Wilson. So they've made a couple bad fuck it calls, which exists. You can have good fuck it's and you can have bad fuck it's. You just got to know which one is the best. You got to know which one is good and which one is bad. You got to know deep down in your heart. You got to know when it's a good time to say fuck it, and you got to know when it's a bad time to say fuck it. Plain and simple. That's as Simple as I can give it to you, right? You just got to know deep down in your heart when's a good time to say it and when's a bad time to say it. Pretty much it. God, I could go on about free agency, I guess, but I think I said all the big ones. Shout out to Sean O'Malley. Sugar Sean O'Malley beat Marlon Chito Vera in all 5 rounds. Every judge gave him 5 rounds. Absolute slaughtering. But the fight of the night, as I accurately predicted, Dustin Poirier versus Benoit Saint Denis, knockout fight. Poirier knocked him out. Again, I absolutely failed on my bets. I tried a few bets and none of them hit. I was fairly accurate. I was accurate all the way up until the main card. That's when things went to pieces. I accurately predicted Poirier and I accurately predicted O'Malley, but it wasn't enough. The other 3 I got wrong, and I admit it. I stand by it. They were all difficult decisions. But the fact that Poirier knocked out Saint Denis, dude, I stood up on my chair and was like, as the fights go on, as the night grows, I get a little bit more drunk. That's just kind of how it goes. I get a little bit more drunk. So I'm feeling pretty good by the time the Poirier fight goes on. So he knocks him down. I'm just like, fucking get him! Finish him! And then he hits him again, drops him, hits him with that finishing punch. The ref calls it. I stand up on my chair, and I'm putting my fist in the air. I'm just like, fuck! Yes! My friend is like pulling me down, like, sit down, like an adult would do to a child. Because I was in the middle of somebody else's TV, like celebrating. Somebody's trying to watch the TV, and I'm just like standing right in front of it. Yes! So, as I get drunker, I tend to act more childish. But you already know what I say to that. Fuck it. Long as you're having fun, fuck it. As long as it's a good time, fuck it. We are living in the age of the fuck it. This is the season of fuck it, guys. And as I said before, I might look back on this and say, that wasn't a good call. That wasn't the right mindset. But the mindset today is fuck it. Do what you want to do. Be who you want to be. Fuck it. Just fuck it all. That's what I say to you. If that speaks to you, then I hope it speaks to you and you do good things with it. You know deep down in your heart if it's worth saying fuck it to or not. That's as simple as I can put it. You know in your heart where that word lies, where that phrase lies. Jameson, baby, drink responsibly. So, that's all I got for you this week, man. I'm recording this late at night. I'm recording this deep into St. Patrick's Day weekend. I'm getting sober as I'm doing this. Like I'm getting less drunk as we're going. I'm sure as you've listened to this, I've slurred a lot of words. I've said a lot of stupid shit, and I've rambled incoherently. But ultimately, we just say fuck it. And I'm going to cut it short. We're going to have a little bit of a short episode. I don't know. That intro was pretty long, to be honest with you. So, whatever. I hope you enjoyed this episode. It might not be the best one, but we're doing a different type of thing. I'm like I said, most of this episode I've been pretty tuned up. I'm starting to sober up a little bit, and that's all good. We're eating a goddamn McChicken, for God's sakes. I'm almost done with it. I'm going to have another bite. Damn, that's good. This son of a bitch used to be $1. Still is worth $1. It ain't worth a damn. But you know what I say? Fuck it. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy your time. Enjoy your life. Do what you want to do. As I said before, I'd rather have a short life that's full of joy and happiness and all the things I love than a long life that is full of misery. So, do with that what you will. Choose your own path. Do what works for you. Do what you think makes you happy. But ultimately, Fuck it. Just do whatever you want. And thank you so much for listening. I hope you, sincerely, I hope you enjoyed this episode. As incoherent as it may have been, shit, most of the time I was sitting here talking, I was just zoning out, not really realizing what I was saying. So I'm sure I'll go back and listen to this and be like, what the fuck was this guy doing? But ultimately, what this guy was thinking was, fuck it, let's do a podcast. Fuck it, who cares that you're drunk? Who cares that you're having fun? You're having fun. You're enjoying life. You're doing you. That's all that matters. So, I say to you, thank you so much. Enjoy your life. Do as you will. Do what you want to do. Say fuck it when you need to. And ultimately, don't forget, life's a garden. Dig it? Life's a garden. Fuck it!
Just gotta keep on.